Good evening, everybody. I'm hoping everything's going to work tonight. Spent most of the weekend getting a new computer set up, only to find out that it was probably a headset that had a short in it that was screwing everything up. All right, guess we hit another all-time high tonight. But the important factor or the important analysis was wave 1, wave 2, now breaking out into wave 3. So even though the Dow looked the weakest as far as an overall signal because it closed near the lower end of the trading range, even though it was up 100 points, the other indexes seem to have a little bit better formations, where the NASDAQ closed halfway up the candle after gapping up, and the SPY broke out with kind of this doji gap up. So what I was illustrating somewhere, with a recommendation on CINA, if you can see a pattern setting up and they gap up to the resistance level, just kind of assume that that was based on the fact that they're gapping up to that resistance level because they don't have that much expectation that resistance level is going to act as resistance anymore. So just the fact that they gapped up, look at our little left-right combo, Morningstar type signal, starting your fry pan bottom. And if it broke out through here, we already have a calculation of where this one could go to. Basically, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 in the same magnitude as this right here. So that's not because of any magical calculation. That's just based upon how human nature kind of works the same way time after time. And if you can see a pattern set up and you can see exactly where the resistance level was, that's the recommendation on EXAS was on the basis that you had a fry pan bottom, you had a bobble breakout. Where do you think your next likely target is going to be? What everybody else is watching, the next target. So I don't have too much of a existing positions, but you can see the existing position that we had on AXSM had a nice, big, huge move today. And the reason you put your stops in is because of this type of situation, where you saw that close below the T-line. Hold on, I got to figure out how to get rid of that thing. How do I get rid of that thing? There, that's how you get rid of that thing. When you see an evening star signal and a close, oh, for crying out loud, I just got rid of that thing. That we want, but this is what we don't want. So how do I get rid of that? Remove study. Remove study, okay? No. Yeah, it's going to drive cursor. Okay. I know how to get rid of it. Last time I tried to get rid of it, it probably took 3 or 4 days figuring out. Okay. So anyways, just observe the obvious. Anytime we see a sell signal and a close below the T-line, close it out. Oh, I'm going to Come on, if you should get that thing. Well. Cursor. It has something to do with a cursor. All right. So another thing to keep an eye on is Apple, for example. You can see this setting up, especially when it kind of broke through this level right in here. And right in here. Told us that our next likely target could be up in this direction. Putting us up here somewhere. Oh, for mercy's sakes. This is just... yes, that is the 34 EMA. 200's on here somewhere. Way down there. Okay. So this is why we have the advantage of seeing which ones are acting well versus which ones aren't. But it also adds credibility to the fact that the uptrend doesn't seem to have too much negative fight in it, because if you can see that the biggies are still moving strong, the ones that everybody is watching, that adds that much more credibility to this bullish sentiment in this market. It's still progressing. So Tesla, nice big up day, which we expected. And notice kind of your bullish doji sandwich breakout. NVIDIA, also in this steady uptrend, still has the prospect of coming up, testing this level, if I could draw a straight line. Still in an uptrend. Linda, this package you don't want. This is kind of the grandfather of charting services, CQG, but I think I'm paying like $1,100 a month for it. And the reason I have it is because it is very clean and fast moving, so that we don't have to sit and wait for charts to come up, even if it's a few seconds at a time. Now, Metastock has these same exact charts. Thinkorswim, you can set up your charts to look relatively the same. So it's not that difficult for any charting service. What you really want to have is something that you can visualize easily and put your own parameters in or your own criteria, so that you're not goofing around with it. Once it's set up, then you don't have to worry about it each day. So Netflix was another one that has just started with the bullish flutter kicker. And look where you are. So this is exactly the type of thing you want to be watching for. Is if it starts coming down through or up through that level, where do you think your next target's going to be? Wave 1, wave 3, up here to the 200. Amazon, slowly coming back. But there is something that's pretty easily recognizable in Amazon, and that's this parallel. You can pretty much draw a parallel line up through the tops and up through the bottoms. Now that's what most people, you don't have to be a sophisticated technical analyst to see that there's kind of a channel setting up. So where's your next likely target? Somewhere up in this area, either at the 200 or at the T-line. So you could, not T-line, the resistance level. So Positive trading from here makes it a viable trade. At least you know where your next upside target will be. Usually we go through a whole long list of the ones we're in, but I've lost them all. I've got to go back through my day timer and reformulate it, so I'll recognize them as some of you ask for positions later on. I know we've been watching you'll pardon me, but you have a nice big bullish engulfing after this fry pan bottom breakout. I'd kind of watch for a J-hook pattern from here. CNST, another one that has a nice J-hook pattern setting up. Where do you think your first likely target is going to be? At least testing the top of that range. And Zine looks good because you got this slow rounding bottom, now a big price move. And that goes back to our advice from the Japanese rice traders that tell us the bigger the move or the signal, the higher the probability there's been a major change of investor sentiment. Hi. For some reason, I can't even read my own handwriting. So I'm going to go on to the next one. We looked at this one earlier today. Look at the trend kicker signal. Opens here, closes here. Gaps up, opens above where it opens, goes the opposite direction. So not only do you have kind of a bobble breakout, but you've got this downtrend breakout, and you've got a trend kicker signal occurring right here at the breakout level. That's the type of thing that you want to really pay attention to, because that's what's going to produce that early entry into a trade that other people aren't recognizing until it started to really move. So this one I wouldn't be afraid to be looking at as a buy on positive trading tomorrow. GVA. Let's see. YI. Another trend kicker signal. Opens here, closes here. Opens right at the same level it opened before and goes the opposite direction. Plus, look where it's closing, right here at the 50. If this opens positive, where do you think the next likely target's going to be? Probably filling the gap right here at the 200-day moving average. Not because there's any magical analysis of that. You're just looking at what everybody else is looking at. Here's your classic pattern. Fry pan bottom. What do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? Strong price move. What follows a strong price move? Potentially a J-hook pattern. There's your Morningstar signal. Starting back up, it broke through this level today. What do you think your next calculation should be? Wave 3 is probably going to be the same magnitude as wave 1. So this is what's going to happen in an upward market. A lot of stocks are going to go up, obviously. That's kind of a outlandish expectation. But the advantage we have is we can find the stocks that aren't going to be going up like this. We're going to be able to find the ones that are going to be moving more like this. So kind of going into that expectation of you want to make hay while the sun shines. Well, at least we're looking for the stocks that have the big percent moves if this market continues to its uptrend. Little fry pan bottom breakout. This one's CTRA. Where's expected target? You can see there's a gap area right up here at the 50. So that's a good 100% move to get back up to that level. So this is why not only do you want to recognize which signals or patterns look the best, but you also want to take a look at what the result of that pattern would be. Oh, I think I was showing this one because of the J-hook pattern, and then followed by a doji sandwich. Again, wave or that candle and that candle with a doji in between. That candle is pretty much the same magnitude as that candle right there. Also giving you a leg up as far as which price moves may have the best move. Look at MAXR, MAXR going into wave 3. And WPX, another one right at the breakout level. So if you observe the obvious, kind of have a big fry pan bottom with a bigger dimple in here, but look where it's broken out, right here at a resistance level. So remember, we're looking for buy signals when the stochastics are in the oversold area. We're looking for pattern breakouts, usually when stochastics are in the overbought area. There's your breakout of the 200, which you can see was acting as a kind of consistent resistance level. Then you had your kind of your booster signal. Now a breakout. Where? There's your gap up in this range. Did I already do this one? There, classic. Yeah, I did that. I went backwards. I don't know. There's your bobble breakout. You ready to buy this one? The chart's still coming up strange. What's happening to the charts? I was hoping we had everything fixed. Rigid member, what's no slides? Claire, make sure at the top of your screen, if you're not getting any slides, that you're on screen sharing and not slides. I do not see the bottom of the chart. That means you probably need to pull your chat room down. Go up to that top level of the chat room and pull it, drag it down so your chart. Or you click on the chart and there's just above on that gray line, you should see on the same line where in blue it says start screen sharing, there should be a box with the everything pointing out. That will bring your that'll bring your full chart up. No slides. Claire, what you might have to do is go up to the top red X. If your chart is too large, then you go up to that box or those arrows pointing in, just to the left of the ones where the arrows are pointing out. What was I saying? Claire, go up to the red X of the very top right of your screen, click on it, and then come back in and see if you don't get a better connection. Okay. Where was I? Oh, we did the bobble. Oh, we had to skip our breakout session this past Saturday because of computer. But look at your breakout here of a fry pan bottom. That's on CEIX. So we're trying to identify the different things that we can utilize, candlestick signals and a resistance level to look at our doji sitting right on the resistance level right here at the top of a kind of a double bottom fry pan bottom. Positive open. What'd that tell you today? They were not resisting anymore at the 50, at the 200. Mercy sakes, I got to quit drinking before I do these sessions. And PRQR, same scenario. Look at your little hammer type signal, indecisive, gap up. What'd that tell you? Wave 3 was in progress. iRobot, sitting right here at a breakout level. So this is where you kind of, look at you, this is what you call a stick sandwich. Big up day, big up day. If this opens positive, where do you think your next target's going to be? Like coming up here to fill the gap. And then you're definitely in an uptrend. So you have to see where it goes from there. And Under Armour, you can see the bobble breakout. So wave 1, wave 3 should take you back up right into about the 200-day moving average. Now, do all these charts do what we suspect them to do? Well, the reason we suspect them to do what we expect them to do is because we're watching what everybody else is watching. And because we can see the nature of the pattern or the signal that got us to a chart setup where we can see where the target is, at least we know that becomes at least potential enough to go ahead and get into that. Putting two advantages in for us. One, that we know it's probably moving in that direction with a higher degree of probability. And two, at least we know what the magnitude of the return will be. So I was, I guess I said it in the afternoon newsletter, anytime I can see something that has good probabilities to it, I can come out of positions that may not have as good a probability and move it to the better probabilities. And if I'm trading a pattern or a technique, this is why I advocate picking out 4 or 5 different strategies and not trying to become an expert on every one of them. But you can see what happened here. If you start adding all the things that happened on this chart, look at your gap up doji in way above the T line. That was, if you were stayed long here, I would have probably closed out half the position and closed out the other half here. Why? Because there was your getting the information to us that we know have probabilities of a result happening. Gapping up in the overbought condition, moving that far away from the T line, that told us get ready to start taking profits on any type of selling. Now, where do most people sell? They gap down in the they gap down at the bottom. And look at our big, huge hammer signal. Then support on the 50. Now you can be buying because now what do you have going on? Another wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and what's the additional evidence that this is where they're buying? As you can see, that type of signals were occurring right smack dab off a major support level that everybody else was watching, even if they aren't using candlestick analysis. At least they're watching for areas where things are starting to be bought. Kind of the same scenario here on ATEC. got back down almost to the 50, but you can see the bullish breakout of the downtrending T-line after a hammer, then a doji. What's our expectation now? Now we could be in the next trend to the upside. What's the obvious of these buy signals? Because they're occurring right smack dab on the 50. And what does that tell us? When everybody else can see that it's supporting on the 50, what becomes their confidence factor? They know that they're supporting on the 50, so at least we can be buying here. We just happen to be able to see it visually a little bit more clearly off those levels. Hammer, bullish confirmation, breaking through the T-line, just high probability setups based upon where these signals actually occur. Doji, bullish confirmation, gap up through this downtrend. What's our expectation? Well, if this is wave 1, look at what wave 3 could do. Look how this move occurred. There's our bobble breakout. And how did it break out? With a doji sandwich. So the more you can add 2 plus 2 to your analysis, the higher the probabilities are going to be in the right trades at the right time and get out of trades at the right time. What do we expect going on here with a bullish engulfing right on the T-line? Again, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Is this a worthwhile trade? Well, if this was $6, $7, this going to about the $28 level from here, that's a decent percentage return. And DT, bullish left-right combo, what do we expect? That J-hook pattern in progress. All right, that's about all I got tonight because I'm still trying to find everything I usually had on my watch list, and it's all gone. So with that, is there any general questions on candlesticks? Yeah, it was all day long with different people coming onto the computer to get things done up right. Still haven't been able to figure out how to get connected back up to YouTube. Okay, I guess with that then, Jim, go ahead and do the double lines. All right, and do the next double line. I'm just having a hard time believing that we're this close to Christmas. All right. AMGN. There's your slow curve breakout. Expect more upside. NIO. NIO you can be buying. I'd be more apt to buy it above this level, which means I'd rather pay for it if it came back up through today's high. You'd be in the gap area, and I would suspect your next target would be up to the 200-day moving average. IC was coming out of a out of a J-hook fry pan bottom. So this is where you should have been alert. When you get up in the overbought area, you'd be a little bit more conscious that they just slightly gapped this up and took it up here. when it was up here, and you're looking at this chart, the first thing that should just hit you in the side of the head is the fact that you're that far away from the T-line. So if I owned this and it was trading up here, I would definitely have put a stop at the open or the close of the previous day, because logic says if it comes back down through there, they're heading back down toward the T-line. And Bloom, that's a nice bounce off the 34. Now, if they trade this one back up above today's open, you see it sold off, but if they come back up through there, that means they have no regards for this resistance. You can be buying it. Oh boy, because you don't really have a signal here, I would be much more cognizant of a 34, making sure it can break through this downtrend. Yeah, it's a good chart, but it wouldn't be one I would be going after just because there's too many that do have signals. Iron Mountain. Am I hitting the wrong symbols here tonight? Yeah. If you're short, even though you're not in the oversold area, the next thing you have to watch for is what is everybody else watching. Got to watch in that. So if I was short, well, Shazam, this won't quit. If this opened positive tomorrow, I'd close out my short position. Wouldn't be going long, but I wouldn't want to be short anymore. That's a bullish Harami, but it doesn't really tell you a whole lot just yet. You can see the overall trend of this one is drifting lower. Johnson & Johnson. You stay long, but note that over the last 5-6 days, you've had a lot of dojis. You definitely keep your safety stop at the T-line, or just below the T-line. Disney has kind of a little trend kicker. I'd be ready to buy this one on strength. Again, probably not buying the stock, but definitely going after maybe an option spread. ATRA this one definitely needs to open positive tomorrow. If it opened lower, it's coming back to the T-line, not giving you a whole lot of strength. You'd have to wait for the next buy signal. And TL or DLTH, I would just stay long. That best friend type signal, and a breakout through this level. You just stay long as it doesn't close below the T line. And Marathon, another one where you just stay long. If I was long right now up here, after seeing a dark cloud and then coming back up, I'd have a safety stop at today's open. If it came back down through there, they're having a hard time moving it to the upside from this point. Valero, wouldn't have bought it yet. I'd be more apt to buy it if it probably came up through today's high, telling you the 50's not acting as resistance anymore. The text is too small. The text is too small. I don't know which text that is. Snap. Snap, you stay long. No, I forgot to take a look at soybeans for everybody. You can see what's happened to soybeans. And I'm colorblind. I can't. That's green, all right. So, where's a likely target for soybeans? I'd probably figure getting it up into this congestion area. Now it's going to look at crude oil. That's January crude oil. So it's gotten up above 60. I was surprised. Yum. Oh. Yum, another one. Fry pan bottom. Got it right here. If it opens positive, you know at least there's your first target. If it breaks through there, there's your second target. And then fill in the gap would be your third target. So definitely has some good upside. Pantry or Pilgrim's Pride, nothing here. I wouldn't be long or short. You can see you're in a wedge formation, which means you don't have any direction to it right now. Disney, we did kind of a little trend kicker signal. AUPH, stay long, but you have Doji, put your safety stop right here. It needs to be going in this direction. If it comes back down through here after a couple of Dojis, that tells you your profit taking is likely has started. Baba, stay long, shooting star. For safety, I'd put a sell stop just below that level, because if it came down through there, that tells you they're at least pulling back to the T-line area. SRNE did come back to the T-line. Now you really want to see this one open positive and start trading positive again to tell you that this 45 degree is still in place. We did Tesla. Tesla was up strong. And it broke out today. So expect it to at least come up some more to get back into that trend channel. INFN, good and bad. You had a breakout. But you got up in the overbought area and had a gap up. I'd have a safety stop right here just to be safe. And CTMX, another fry pan bottom. Right about there. I'd still be a buyer of this on positive trading with a breakout taking you up toward the 200-day moving average. I think we did AMRN. No, we didn't. There's your belt hold, bearish engulfing. Right about the same level it topped out before. If this opens lower, I'd be more apt to short it. But the fact that they gapped it up was your first alert to either have a stop here or a stop right there. Palo, you can get ready to buy this one. There's nothing real majestic about it just yet. You'd like to see some very good positive trading from here to get back up to fill this gap. And is this the gas? Gas coming back up a little bit. Stay long. Use the T-line as your stop. Salesforce. Left-right combo, hammer, off the 200 to 50. Up. So you want to be buying this one. First target here, second target could be that trajectory. AKTS, your belt hold. Hasn't really shown enough strength. I'd still be a buyer of this, though, if it comes up through today's open. That would give me that J-hook inclination, but right now I wouldn't be in it. And NVIDIA, definitely want to see this open positive. If it opens lower, now you've got kind of the impression that this level right here was acting as a resistance level. They're starting to back off. Gail, this was just kind of a custom-made one that my tech guy, these computer guys, know how to put these computers together, and so it was relatively inexpensive. And unfortunately, I had to move from Windows 7 to Windows 10, so I'm kind of hard to teach an old dog new tricks, but I'm having to learn new tricks. Roku, if you were short, I'd be ready to cover on positive trading, kind of indicating this area right here is now acting as a support level, but I wouldn't be long or short. Slack, you can stay long, but if it starts trading lower, telling you there's not a whole lot of force. They came up, filled the gap, and started backing off. RA, another one you can get ready to buy. Just be aware that the magnitude of return is not all that fantastic. I'd be trading something else. Whoops. That's why, because I didn't see the bottom. I was wondering why somebody would be looking at that. Boeing stays short. What's the one obvious thing that you can see ever since they did a doji gap down? They've never been able to bring this back up above the T-line. I would stay short, but I'd probably pick a spot like right up here someplace, that if they started trading it up, they were using this same level as a support level. SOX, stay long, but you have a shooting star. Have a safety stop, probably just at the close here or even the open here. It shouldn't come back in this direction. Rocks, just stay long, nice slow curve. Breakout in the sense that it broke out through this level. Expect more upside. COMM, be ready to buy this one on positive trading. You can see how it broke. Kind of use the 50 as support like it did before. Next target, I would logically look for the 200-day moving average. An HDNP. That's a toughie. Oops. That's a toughie. You can see what happened when they opened it lower. I don't know why that would have been trading at one price. Was that a buyout of some sort? Don't know what to tell you there. That's not a great chart. Chewy needs to open positive. If it opens lower, then you've got a shooting star doji, hanging man. If they open it lower, there's profit taking, probably bringing you back down to the E-line. ENPH. Slow curve, stay long. Reggie was, after some whipsawing, started back up nicely. Look for it to still continue 45 from this level. AKCA, another one's not real fantastic, but you got a doji sandwich and you're right here at the breakout level. You can buy on strength. And knee, bullish engulfing. You can buy this one on strength, also indicating a breakout. Amazon trying to start its way back up again, kind of a trend channel that tells you they could bring it back up into this area. Uber had a nice signal today. Your best friend, wobble breakout. I'd suspect more upside. SWAV. Just be a little bit careful. Doji up here away from the T-line. Have a safety stop down here someplace. And Gates, just slow, steady uptrend, but having a hard time getting through the breakout area. I'd have a safety stop just below today's low. If it comes back through there, tells you they're moving away from that breakout level. And CRC, another one that's having a little bit of trouble getting up through this resistance level. If it opened lower, you can at best expect a very slow, steady uptrend. Bank of New York, nothing real exciting about this stock. It has to stay above the T-line to stay in it. It's just not a very exciting trader, though. Ballard had a nice chart. I think we did that earlier, didn't we? Yeah, with the gap up. Expect wave 3. LY. Oops. IYT. That stuck still. Kind of in a wedge type formation. I wouldn't be trading this one at all. Where am I? EBIO. This one you should have closed out. You can see the shooting star, the doji, kind of the bearish engulfing. It needed to open positive and trade positive. And when it did, your safety stop right here would have given you a good indication that if they came back down through there, all this selling signals were starting to kick in. Leo, no, I don't even think, as a matter of fact, I looked at that one here earlier on EPZM, and I might have been a little bit nervous, but I don't know how long it stayed down here. As soon as I started seeing it go green, I would have said hang on to it. Now, I'd even go as far as saying, if this opens positive tomorrow, you can still be buying this one. Yes, I trade futures during the day just because they move faster. You can see what's happening right now in live cattle. Whoops. You see wave 1, wave 2. You're pretty much right here at the breakout area. This starts into wave 3. So soybeans obviously is an effect of any of the discussions going on right now as far as China. But you can see where the Morningstar signal occurred, right about where it bottomed out before. Where do you think your next likely target is going to be? Right at the top of this channel. What we'll do there, we just watch to see what type of signals occur when you get up there. So yes, over in the options room, we talk about the futures. Caterpillar, another one is having a little bit of problem getting up through this level. If it opens lower, I'd close it out. And then I wouldn't pay attention until it got up through that level. And LASR, another one, whoops, got that line right there. But if this one opens positive tomorrow, you can see what's happening. Get ready for your next move to the upside. QTT, another fry pan bottom. I wouldn't necessarily be buying it just yet. I want to see something strong. And I think another one that had been acting strong recently was this GTT until we saw the doji and then the bearish confirmation. Where was it heading? Back to the T-line. So it would have been taking profits just to see what it would do once it got back to the T-line. So I need to get a drink. Okay, Wrigley. Slow, steady uptrend. Stay with it and be a little bit expectant of a doji sandwich breakout tomorrow. And Roku, nothing. Let's see, what news that CFO is leaving. Stock down after hours, okay. So if you were short, you stay short with the expectation that probably in this area is your next target, then your next target. Don, yeah, I'm still having a hard time getting accustomed to Windows 10. Yep, that's why I moved Gail, because I heard yeah, I don't know what happened up there on HDNP. The lead stocks, nothing to get excited about on ACB. I wouldn't be long or short. And CGC, this one had the opportunity to break out, but here's kind of what you should be at least mentally acknowledging. If you see a breakout signal, then the next day you have a sell signal, there's your dark cloud. That's telling you, yeah, there's not a lot of breakout there, but just be a little bit more leery of that. That's why your bread and butter is knowing what the 12 major signals are telling you, so that you can make almost an instant assessment of what the overall trend / market breakout area might be telling you. So you want to be just as prepared for a trade that's not going to work as you do for one that is going to work. Zoom, nothing of any great magnitude here. I guess you could kind of say it's doing a double bottom. So if you're buying it, you still need to get through this downtrend, which would be at the 50-day moving average. And EN's LC, another one that you can stay long, but I would definitely have my safety stop at the T-line. Wayfair, nothing to get real excited about here. And Zillow, just stay long with your safety stop below the T-line. Eva, nothing. Probably wouldn't be long or short this one. Jounce, observe the obvious. Your safety stop would have been up here, because if it sold off through that level after a doji in the overbought condition, where was it heading? Back to the T-line. ALGN, oh boy, if you're short, you stay short, but you don't want to see it trade above the T-line. I think we did AMRN, yeah, big bearish belt hold, bearish engulfing. AMGX, another one that if you're staying in this fry pan bottom, you stay with it as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. A very simple trading parameter for a fry pan bottom. An MLCO, big breakout. It needs to open and trade positive. I'd have a safety stop at the open of yesterday, or of, what is today? Open of Friday. Intel, not too much of a trader. Just doesn't have any zip anymore. It's a big institutional trader. Doesn't move around very much. And Twitter, you can get ready to buy this one. First logical target is the 50-day moving average. Then watch to see if it can get through that level. Net, you can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. Your bullish engulfing signal bouncing off the 50. Now a doji, if it opens positive, it's breaking this downtrend with a doji sandwich. Taco. Ooh, that's a toughie now. That's a toughie. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be in this one, because once you had this big, huge move, it needed to open positive. The fact that they gapped it down again would have told me to get out, and there's really been nothing yet to confirm getting back in. So I guess that was a long answer to say I wouldn't be trading this one at all right now. Clovis, down a lot. That's exactly what your kind of your sell signal said today, was that they weren't doing a J-hook pattern, that at best you're going to be in kind of a wedge formation. Art, it's not that. I get to sit a lot. Nice J-hook pattern on ADMS. Stay long on this one. Look at your big belt hold. Taking out a lot of the sellers. GP, WH. Ooh. For some reason that's not coming up. That's not coming up. Let me see. Might be the system. Nice fry pan or J-hook pattern breakout. Wave 1, wave 3 might have a little bit more to the upside. I think we did AUPH, didn't we? AUPH, you stay long as this 45 degrees stays intact. I would have my safety stop just below the lows of the last 2 days. BLS, get ready to buy this one. Make this smaller. This may be coming up into this area. DNA. All you can do is stay long as it stays above the T-line. Can. Just stay long. You're in the overbought area. You do have a doji sandwich. You had kind of a J-hook pattern support at the 50. Stay long, but now have your safety stop at the previous day's open. COF, a McMuffin? Yeah, it is. Morning Star followed by a Doji sandwich. XP. Not enough to give you information. There might be more there. It's just not on here tonight. GWPH. That one's got some Doji sandwiches. Watch to see what it does here. Then look for it to come up to this level to get into the gap. GWPH. Did we just do that? Apparently. ENLC needs to stay or needs to open positive to stay with this one. Okay. The underlying factor to all this is that this market is still heading up. And if it just does it in this manner, where there doesn't show a whole lot of enthusiasm, that's still going to put you in situations where there are stocks out there that are going to produce good profits while this market is moving. So, again, make hay while the sun shines. All right, everybody, have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the chat rooms tomorrow. We'll see you then.